Hello, I am Melissa Bondi, and you're watching Around Ann Arbor. The Ann Arbor Art Fair is just around the corner, one of the largest events to take place in our area, and one of the largest art fairs in the country. The Ann Arbor Art Fair is comprised of three independently juried nonprofit art fairs that run concurrently. And today, to give us the details, are the three art fair directors. Karen Delhay, Executive Director of the Ann Arbor Summer Art Fair, Angela Klein, Executive Director of the Ann Arbor Street Art Fair, the original, and Frances Todoro, Executive Director of the Ann Arbor State Street Art Fair. Welcome, ladies, to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so you're not new to this, where I'm not new to the art fair, so super excited. This will be my 10th year attending, so I'm very excited. So let's talk about what's happening this year. I have a feeling it's going to be a big one. So Karen, can you fill us in first a little bit about, I mentioned juried. So what does juried mean in regards to the art fairs?
So, in a nutshell, it means you're going to see some of the highest quality art. Artists have to apply and go through a jury process or a scoring process to be invited to participate. Each of the fairs has their own twist on how they jury, but basically it all kind of boils down to the same. They submit an application with images of their work, and then they are juried either by art professionals and or artist peers, and the highest scorers get invited to be a part of the fair.
Okay, so I guess, is it artists coming from all over, right? It's all over the world, not
All
just
over the world.
not just the country, not just locally, but it's a big deal. Folks are coming in from all over the world. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
They are, and actually this year we have some Inuit artists coming. We've been working with the Canadian consulate, and there will be it's looking like 4 artists that are coming from the Arctic to be a part of the event. So the fair has a certain panache, and people know about it. We're world renowned, nationally acclaimed, and I think it's an honor to be a part of it.
Okay. So I guess Francis, tell us a little bit about your art fair. I don't know, do you guys refer to them as yours, or like is that something you say like, well, oh, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that? I mean, they are different, they are separate.
Mhm.
So I guess tell us, Francis, what's coming up with your art fair.
Yeah, I think each of us does have um our own makeup and kind of our own thing. I kind of like to refer to it as. So for years, State Street really was the art fair to come to for the businesses to come outside and be on State Street where you have Emden and Bivouac. And so that was our thing where our businesses actually participated in the fair. Restaurants are side by side with artists. So our artists have gotten used to that, and they know, that is a big part of being part of our fair. And we also have this year we're going to have our William Street stage will be back, and we are going to have also a chalk area for William Street. I know a lot of people remember we used to have booths on the 500 block of William, but we won't have them there this year. But we're going to have some community activities there, and there'll be some chalking in the street, and it's something we are working on now. So I'll have more information about that as the fair gets closer. But we're really excited about that, and we're also excited about our marketplace section, where different sections of our fair you'll see some traditional vendors that are not artists. In the past we've referred to them as our mobile retailers. I know all the everybody that comes to the fair knows who they are. It's our, when you come to State Street and get to buy your straw hats or fun gitchy things like that, salsa dips. And so they'll all be back with us again this year too.
Okay. I guess, Angela, let's talk a little bit about your fair and what is happening, what's coming back and what's new.
Yeah, I love, talking about our section of the fair, but we also think about how all the fairs are similar as well. We have so many great similar things like our stages. We have hundreds of amazing artists. But in particular to our section of the fair, we have what's coming back, or the Potters Guild. They've been with us in the previous, before the pandemic, for 40 years. I believe this is their 41st year, and they'll be back, and we're very excited about that. And they'll be doing all day, every day, live ceramic demonstrations. And then we have coming back is NANA, which is our new artists, new art program, where we jury in 6 Michigan college students, and they receive free booth space at the Ann Arbor Street Art Fair, and they're able to then keep the profits from what they sell. So we're very excited. It's a mentorship program. So that is back. And Mr. B is back. We're very excited about him coming back. This is, I think, also his 41st year. Mm-hmm. And some new things, the Toledo Museum of Art is coming to do demonstrations all day, live glass blowing demonstrations next to the Art Activity Zone. And in the Art Activity Zone, we have DIA, we have University of Michigan Natural History is coming back, and Playworks and Be Creative. So we have a lot of really wonderful, exciting things. Someone I just signed on that I'm super excited about is Conrad the Unicorn. And I'm not sure if everyone knows about Conrad the Unicorn, but she is from Ann Arbor, and she was on America's Got Talent, and she's going to come do some fun things with the kiddos at the Art Activity Zone and at the Fountain Stage. So that'll be fun on Thursday of the fair.
Okay. So I want to talk to you all, because I attended the event back in May for the unveiling of the posters, right? So I guess, can we talk a little bit about that? Because that was new. Was that introduced this year?
It was. We did one years ago. It wasn't a poster release. It was a press tour when we started the art go round. So we brought the press out for that. And then we did one, I think the year after, Francis, was it? And it was at Pizza House, and we had people come, press come and find out what was happening at the event. But this was the first actual poster launch where we all launched our posters on the same day.
Okay. And so how does that decision get made as far as picking the featured artist? Because it's one for each fair, is that correct?
Yeah, so each one of us has our own way of doing it. For us, it's State Street. Carissa Petty, who is our director of operations, and she works very closely with our artists. She also does all of our graphic design work and so on. She goes through our re-invited artists, and she pulls out a few that she likes or that she knows will be amenable to being a featured artist, and she brings them to our executive committee, and we choose the featured artist together. So
okay. Let me ask a little bit now about getting around the art fair. So it's a very large, takes up many, many blocks of downtown for those 3 days in July. Anything change as far as transportation? Or maybe something, past it's worked, and what will folks be able to do to get around the fair? Get to it, actually.
So you should ask that. We have new things this year. We are partnering with National Trails for our shuttle. This will be the first year that they do the shuttle with us. So it will be at similar locations as in the past. It'll be at Briarwood and Huron High School. It's $8 round trip, free parking at both locations. So you can hop on and ride in comfort and air conditioning to the art fair. We also have our art go round, which once you're on site and decide you're tired of walking and want to get from one end to the other, May Mobility we're partnering with, and you can hop into one of their autonomous vehicles, and they will drop you at a different section of the fair. In conjunction with that, BMW will have some of their vehicles in there as well. So you can either ride in a May Mobility car or a BMW. It's your choice. And then there's, of course, parking downtown, and someone else tell me, I can't remember how much it is, $18 a day, I think, to park downtown in the structures. I think the myth has always been that you can't find parking in Ann Arbor, but I don't think that's true. I think we have a lot of parking, and I think if you want to park downtown, you should be able to. So.
Okay. Now, if folks want to find out where, some of the places and vehicles and options that you just said, where are you sending folks to find out more information?
TheAnnArborArtFair.com is our website, or they can follow the Ann Arbor Art Fair on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay. Yeah, you guys have a pretty extensive website. I've been on it to find out as far as, I mean, even when it comes to vendors and nonprofits, I guess tell us a little bit about that, about the involvement with the community and the partners and the volunteers. Can anyone speak to that? Like the impact of this, these impressive art fairs that come to town every year?
Francis, you want to take that one?
Sure. So it does not happen just between the three of us. It is definitely a community event for sure. So we at State Street, we do have a staff, like I'm sure the Street Art Fair and the Summer Art Fair have too. But then we also rely a lot on our volunteer organizations. So for us, at State Street, we partner with First Congregational Church, which is right in our neighborhood, and also some of the parents groups at Pioneer High School. And they perform for us. They staff our information booth. They act as our booth sitters so that our artists can take a break and go over to the Michigan Theater and get some, cold drinks and snacks. And the First Congregational stands in for us, and they help us with our trash and recycling. So our partnerships with the community really do extend beyond just our own staff, because we don't have the budgets to have the staff that is needed to execute an event of this size. So our volunteers are extremely, extremely important to us.
Volunteers are very inspiring. I'm always amazed at their dedication and level of care. We have the Girl Scouts of America coming this year, but we also have 200 volunteers that sign on each year, and it always moves me about how dedicated they are each year to help us put on this event.
Yes,
So,
agreed. The same. We have a couple hundred volunteers that come and help us, and without them, we would not be able to put this event on.
yeah, it's like we said, it's the largest, if not the largest, and I know it takes a village with, oh my gosh, the amount of people just coming, just the community alone, let alone all the folks that are coming in, from transportation to food to, hospitality, and it's a big deal. And what would you say the feedback that you get does everyone usually hear at the end of it? Like what are some positive things that, it's all said and done, 3 hottest days of the year. What's the feedback that you usually hear at the end of it? Whether it's from a vendor or from an artist, from your volunteers.
Wow, that's a big question. I feel like we get so much wonderful feedback. Our food vendors will talk to us about how amazed they are about how kind the community is and how kind the artists are to them and how much money they make at the event. And I think what is a real testament to that, and I know Karen and Francis can speak to this more than I can, but when the pandemic hit, how important it was for you to come back, for the art fair to come back. And I think that the feedback that you received and really begging the art fair to come back, testament to how important it is to the community.
Well, and I think Francis, as an area association, can really speak to the impact that it has on the businesses and how important it is for this event to continue.
Yeah, it definitely is a huge economic driver to the downtown that we know and love so much. Many of our mom and pops rely on this type of an event to bring those customers to them, especially at a time when the university is quiet. Last year when we had the State Street construction, I learned a new saying that downtown has four big points in downtown. It's graduation, art fair, move-in, football. And so that's really the biggest times of our downtown. And so it's important for us to remember that. And that's why in 2021, being that we were the first major event coming out of the pandemic, coming out of when the governor said and lifted everything, when she made the comment that she was lifting all restrictions, for the art fair to have been the first after being over 60 years old, it was just that's what it should be. We are the leader, and we should continue to be that. And it puts a lot of pressure on us, but we got it. We can handle it.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, very well said, Francis. I think I would agree with that. I remember it being a big deal when it didn't happen, and I'm just I'm a fair goer, I work in the city, and it was a big deal to me. And I can't imagine, on your end. But I feel like the last few years it's came back and it's just thriving and only getting bigger. So I have to ask before we wrap up, what will the weather be? I think that's something we all want to know. What will the weather be those 3 days in July?
I checked the Farmer's Almanac and it said it was going to be beautiful. And I know that's old school technology, but I did it for my wedding, which was in July, and it was accurate. So I now I'm like a believer. So I'm hoping it's true.
We don't talk about weather until I have a rule in my office. We are not allowed the W word until the week of, because it changes so much. But I feel like we've gotten so much hot weather so early this year that maybe that means we're good for 1st of July.
We're good. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. So note to self, taboo, don't talk about weather.
Right.
Pre art fair. Got it. Okay.
Right.
Is there anything you want to mention before we wrap up that we may not have mentioned today about the art fair coming up?
Maybe just how much we love our artists. We're so thrilled. We're all 3 nonprofit organizations. We all do this as a labor of love for our artists, the community, the businesses. We're just so excited to be doing this. So thank you for the interview. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Every year we want to make sure we get this out. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for everyone. And I know I can just tell the sheer amount of work that goes in behind putting this together is doesn't seem very easy, but it seems very rewarding.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So thank you all again for joining me today. And if you would like more details on the Ann Arbor Art Fair coming up, you can visit the AnnArborArtFair.com to find out about maps, artists, activities, foods, and everything you want to know about Art Fair. And again, be sure to check out CTN's website at a2gov.org/CTN for more great programs and our services, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media at CTN Ann Arbor. Again, thanks for watching.